the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Okay, here we go.
Where the plays get broken down and science gets denied.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Hour 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Raising Cane studio.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2 of OTB here on this Wednesday morning. Our Wednesday show is brought to you by Hood Dental Care. HoodDentalCare.com is the website. Remember, they've got multiple locations. Denham Springs, Watson, Livingston, a couple in Zachary as well. You can check them out online, HoodDentalCare.com. All right, we got Dr. Stephen Etheredge here with us in studio, as he is every single week. Dr. Etheredge, how you doing? How were the holidays? I saw you at the Texas Bowl, but how was New Year's?
It was good. It was good. Happy New Year to everybody here. But, yeah, it was nice. We spent Christmas in a hotel, so that was a little bit different.
You were in Houston for a long time. Yeah,
we got there before Christmas, got to, open presents in a hotel room. But we're hanging out with the Tigers. Could be worse company.
Yeah. That's right. We stayed back the day after the game and hung out for a little bit there in Houston. Got there the day of the game. The game was... Hell, it was almost midnight when it kicked off. It felt like
it was so late. It was. I don't know. We just seem to get a bad draw on our times and dates, and especially when we end up in Houston. Nothing against Houston, but I don't want to go back next year.
No.
And how's your caffeine intake on an 8 p.m. kick?
It was strong to
quite strong.
Okay. Mine was high.
Yes,
in the press box.
I maybe had a few jitters there, kind of.
Okay, good. Does the team? Because I know, like in the NFL, like caffeine was king a lot of times in the NFL, especially like you're playing noon kickoffs. Like there's a lot of caffeine consumed by players. I don't remember doing it in college. Have they? Is the caffeine thing kind of?
It's crossed over. Yeah, it's one of those things. I have like mixed feelings. I mean, is this okay to do? Because caffeine will dehydrate you, and there's things that we know too much can be bad.
Yeah,
these guys are.
Exactly. Right. They're well hydrated.
Coffee's brewed with water.
Yeah, truth.
Water hydrates you. So that's
wow. That's a great point.
That's what I tell myself all the time. So I was looking up because you're like, I don't want to end up in Houston again next year. I was making sure, the playoff schedule, like that the championship wasn't in Houston. It's in Las Vegas.
Okay.
That's what I see right here. So,
I'm okay with Vegas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Vegas will be fine.
Yeah.
Get dehydrated there, too.
As long as we don't end up with T-Bob on the street with no shirt, no shoes, in a bathing suit walking down the strip, like when we played USC.
Well, like if he goes...
If the situation calls for it, I mean,
true.
I can promise you he was not having a bad time.
What'd your friend say?
He's like, I've never met that guy, I don't know, but he seems like a complete liability.
Yes.
Sounds right.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
And that guy is
he's a liability
as well. So
shout out to Bob. All right, so I want to ask you before because we got to get Alondra, we got to figure out what's going on with her back. But before we get there, it is the portal. It is speed dating. It is craziness. There's players coming in on visits. Do y'all have anything to do, when you're trying to decide? We always talk about the coaches and how quick they have to decide, but from the medical side of things, if somebody comes in with an injury, a pre-existing thing, even if they probably don't, you probably want to at least get eyes on something. What is the timeline for y'all to try to say, yes, okay, yeah, for sure, good to go?
Yeah, and it's a very blurred line. It's very difficult. We talked about it, like I said, right when we kind of came in. It's one, you have to rely on information. And how much information are we going to get? And typically you have to rely on their school to send you information. So, like Matt was saying, are they going to want to send you the information? Or are we going to get the information in time? Then you have to worry about HIPAA and making sure that we have all the releases and all of that. And then these guys are usually here, like you said, it's a speed date. They're not here very long. I know, the athletic training staff does a good job of trying to put eyes on them if there's any questions. And if it's something that's maybe a little more complicated, they'll give us a holler and say, just try and get us the info. But again, it's a race against the clock. And And then, too, you have to consider, if you really want this guy, do we want to bog him down with medical? But it's also a big decision. So there's just so much that goes into it. It's the great unknown right now. But we are involved, but really not a whole lot just because of the time that we have available. It's
I'm sure
crazy.
it's not as cut or dry as like the NFL is. Like the NFL is like, you have to pass this physical if you want a trade to go through or the free agency contract to go through. But like you're having to rely on other teams to send you medical documents. So like I'm sure the University of Washington's not jumping up and down to send LSU some medical documents on a certain quarterback. But then you have to make all these decisions, and I'm sure the coaches like ask opinions, but it's probably not like it's cut or dry. Like your meeting with this guy is going to determine whether we sign him or not.
Right. I mean, and look, if a coach loves a guy, a coach loves a guy. We've kind of learned that, whether even in high school, sometimes you're a little bit nervous about things. And even in the NFL, sometimes you take the risk because you appreciate the talent. But the reality of it is, I think we're still figuring it out. I think I was listening earlier. I think somebody y'all's chat mentioned that, this kind of like the NFL, you have to evolve everything.
Yeah.
It's a growing thing. I think where we are today is very different than where we're going to be next year and the year after from every aspect, including the medical. But right now, it's still the Wild West. So some of the guys, we get great info. We're able to look through it. We're able to see their scans, their whatever. Other guys, it's like, well, we know he had a knee injury. This is what we think they probably did. It's kind of tough.
So in the way it works in the NFL, at least for me and Matt, if it was different for you, please give your example. But I went on 4 free agent visits. I'm trying to think what year it was, maybe 2013. I don't really remember what year it was, but I went on 4 different ones, and everybody kind of handles it a little bit differently. But
I think it's 2012 because you came to Seattle. Was that the year you went to Seattle?
It was no. I don't. Either way, maybe 12. There was 12, and everybody's a little bit different. Some teams don't. Like Seattle didn't want me to work out. They're like, hey, we've got 4 years of tape. Like we don't need you to work out. Some do want you to work out, and for the ones that do want you to work out, like you'll sign a quick waiver. Like, yeah, I can participate. I'm healthy. I'm good to go. Whatever. But if you do well in the workout, that's when they send you to the hospital, and then you go through the grinder. You go through any injury you've had since college. They're going to check that out, and that's how that process is. So you get a chance to like see him on the field. Okay, looks pretty healthy, but we know he has this history, and then you send him to the hospital.
Yeah,
and then you go through the complete combine type physical.
Yeah, and that's. I think one day we'll get closer to that, but we're nowhere near that. I mean, just think the volume alone. I mean, how many kids come through and you have no idea where they're going to go, and it's such a convoluted, messy process right now. I think you'll get something closer to that because it's a big commitment, and it's getting bigger and bigger year by year. So if we're going to sign this kid,
$4 or $5 million.
Yeah, I mean it's huge.
What's crazy is that's like, I mean, we talked about it, like that's so much money. I mean, that's $4 million's like more than I made in 6 years in the NFL, and this is like for 1 year. So like the NFL goes through all the due diligence to do that, but like you said, you're not even close to doing it.
And look, these are college kids, and I love them all. But I remember the thing I've told the story a bunch of times. When I was in college, we would get a $300 book bonus for our scholarships, but it always came in like a month late. So I'd already bought my books. So I had $300 in my pocket, and I was rich.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was taking my roommates to Chili's. We were living
tell me
it up.
nothing.
Oh, yeah, you were.
Finger pistoling all over campus.
You're right. I mean, but I felt like I'd hit the lottery and $300 in my pocket, and that would last me a while, and it was great.
Yeah, it would. I remember like same.
It's different times.
You get like
and I love that guys are getting paid.
check.
I don't love
go to the movie theater.
Oh yeah, I know. You barely pay the rent. It's supposed to, but I love it. I love that guys are getting paid. They should 100%. Always they have been. It's just it's a sloppiness, right? But and then the whole medical part to me, like that's got to catch up too. From like because if you are signing the kid from Texas Tech, just signed for $5 million at Texas Tech, he should probably pass a physical.
You would think so.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
Again, that's $5 million. A
lot of money.
Like that's.
Well, you were talking about like an NFL
legit deal.
Like you had to, but I would assume that you were probably looking at some sort of like veteran minimum
like
or around there, right?
Yeah,
for that.
Vet minimum for 5 years of service.
We're talking about kids that not getting physicals making 5 times that, 6 times that, whatever.
And when I say a physical, I don't mean like the old high school physical that that you've all been through. I don't have to describe that.
Scoliosis.
Yeah. I won't go through that. It was like MRIs, X-rays, tugging on everything you've ever had hurt kind of physical.
It's outrageous. Yeah, the physicals at the NFL level, they aren't going to miss a thing. It's crazy.
Speaking of like other teams looking at players, like now you have a lot of players, LSU players, going to Senior Bowl, getting ready for the Combine. So when does that communication from your office and everybody, the doctors at LSU, start happening with the NFL doctors? And how does that process start? Do they reach out to you? Do you send them with like a packet with all their medical history? How does all that communication work?
So typically it works, they have to go to the draft to go through the combine process and all that. They'll sign a medical release, and you'll basically send all the medical records. And that's usually done by LSU from the athletic training staff. They basically put together a packet, and they'll send the records. And then if there's a big question, they'll ask if it's okay to reach out to the physician. So, sometimes we get a phone call for whatever the issue was. If one of our surgeons did a surgery on the knee, they might talk to him. If it's, hey, we noticed there was this kind of weird thing in this chart. What was this all about? And so sometimes that will happen. In a given year, we don't have to do very much on the physician side.
Right.
Like I said, the athletic training staff does most of the legwork. I'll probably field a call maybe once a year from an agent or from a coach or from somebody about something with one of our guys, maybe not even that often. So it's pretty minimal on our end. But occasionally they do want to reach out to just get some clarity on why we did this or how he responded to treatment or things like that.
All right, what about once a guy does actually sign with LSU, not committed, not on a visit, but actually signs when he's already, been in college? Is that a different physical for you than a guy that comes out of high school, or does it just depend on the injury history?
For the most part, it's the same. So they'll come in and basically any incoming athlete, whether it's a freshman or a transfer, we do what we consider a full physical. So it's not maybe quite to the same level as what you get at the combine, but it's pretty thorough and really focused on their history. So if you came in and you knew you had a knee injury, we're going to sit there and spend a little more time on the knee. And if we need to get MRIs, if we need to get imaging done, we're going to do all that. Whereas, for our return athletes, if you've already been here a year, that physical is super quick. We do a physical every year, but it's like, okay, Jake, we know you had the knee injury, blah, blah, blah. How's it doing?
Right.
And we just kind of focus on what's happened the past year. So, but yeah, any guy that comes in, they get the same physical as a freshman. We're doing blood work. We're doing imaging, focused on any injuries and all that type of stuff.
All right, Doc. College football playoff. Who you got?
Oof. I mean, it's hard to go against Indiana. I mean, they look great right now. I love all the other teams out there, but I don't know if I can pick against them.
It's like all four can kind of be like this Cinderella type story. And I know that sounds crazy because, Miami better than any of us. You played at Florida State. But it's like, Miami for a long time has not been Miami. So, they're the 10 seed. So, that's a Cinderella story. Mm-hmm. Indiana, they've lost more games than anybody else. Ever. Even though they're the one. Ole Miss obviously hadn't done anything like this since Archie Manning. And, Oregon's never won one.
Yeah.
It feels like they have because they've been so close before, but they have never won. And they've got so many Hall of Famers that have come through Eugene, Oregon. So, all of them can kind of be this Cinderella story.
Yeah, it's gonna be different, and it's kind of fun to see different teams in there. I will say that.
Agree.
Do you cheer against Miami because you played at Florida State, or are you like, Florida?
I do.
Florida, brother.
I do. But here's the interesting thing: I really despise Texas A&M and Ohio State as well. So you want to talk about a hard time for me? I was actually kind of happy Miami beat both of them, and I don't like Miami, and it was just kind of, it was kind of a weird feeling. It's
Do you dislike Miami or Florida more?
Florida.
Thank you.
Come on,
obviously,
easy
answer. I can't believe we're not playing.
Objectively, the worst people in the world, right?
Yeah,
agreed. And look, I have family members that went to Florida. I still have zero problem saying that.
Sorry.
Well, I mean,
you're the worst.
They were family members before they made the decision.
Yeah,
4 choices. We all make them.
Yeah,
former family.
Yeah. I always tell my mom. So my mom,
George.
My mom's adopted, but she was born in Gainesville, Florida, and she spent about 30 days in there. And she always lets me know it's 30 days too long.
30 days too long
to be in Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah, when we used to drive to South Florida, I'd always try and find detours around.
That's
but
right.
It would take too long. So
you didn't have your macrame jean shorts ready to go. You wouldn't fit in.
Yeah.
So
macrame.
All right.
What a word.
Real quick before we let Doc go, Doc, we got to figure out Alondra's back. Alondra, just kind of talk us through as much as you can. I know there's some limitations on what we can say, but how's the back pain?
So it's always there. It's pretty constant. I do go get dry needling and stuff like that. So I do have a tear in L5.
All right.
So it has.
I'm already
so
lost.
one of my discs is herniated, and L4 is bulging.
It's not fun.
No, it's not fun. So I've got some back.
Yeah, we can take a look at it. There's probably some stuff we can do.
Yeah, I actually do need to go.
We probably.
And I can show you my MRIs and all that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You got an MRI and everything?
I've got some birth stuff too that I never knew that my L5 is fused with my pelvis or something like that.
All right. Y'all
So you have like a sacralization of
Yes,
it. Yes.
sacralization. And talking
Big
about
words.
elementary school, public school physicals, and they check you for scoliosis. Those don't work. I have scoliosis. I never knew that.
You talking about when they run the
Yeah,
two fingers down your back?
Unless it's really extreme, it's kind of hard to see it on the exam. I'm not going to
What are y'all doing in Texas? I thought y'all had the best.
The elementary nurse running her two fingers down your spine.
She had no idea I had scoliosis.
Oh, all right.
She went like this and was like, "Nah, you're good."
Nah, you're good.
Well, big words.
You can walk.
The L5 and your pelvis is an amalgamation.
Yes.
There you go. Look at you. Look at you.
Sacralization.
There you go.
Sacralization.
Doc, we appreciate you, brother.
All right, no problem.
All right, we'll take a break. We got Kim Mulkey joining us in about 15 minutes from now. When we come back, though, we will give you that full list of players that committed to LSU yesterday through the transfer portal, and we'll do it right here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, we always say it's a great time to go for a dose. Watching the college football playoff, watching the NFL playoffs coming up this weekend. Go ahead and kick your feet up, grab the ice chest, and go for a dose. And Matt told you yesterday, I'm sure he's going to tell you again, so many different options you have with Dos Equis there. And look, Matt loves to send you to the website, dosequis.com. Have your ID ready.
Photo identification.
You got to be ready for that. But look, football season. Doesn't matter if it's in the spring ball, if it's summertime, you're kicking off fall camp, or if it's here in the wintertime and you're getting ready to close it up. It is always a great time to go for Dose.
There's a lot of elite beers out there. There is Friday beers. There's post-cutting grass beers. A hump day beer is absolutely delicious. And if you're going to do it, if you choose to drink the beer, make sure it's responsible. And make sure you go for Dose. Drink Dos Equis. That cold, delicious Mexican lager. Get it. Go to your local store, your local watering hole. Get it iced down and ready for the weekend. Ready for playoff football. Go Dos Equis.
T-Pain. Young Jock. Hey, she snapping. Snap your fingers. Please step. You can do it all by yourself, baby girl. What's your name? Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a drink. I'm T-Pain. You know me. Convict music, never boy. I know the club goes at 3. What's the chances of you rolling with me? Back to the crib. Show you how I live. Let's get drunk and forget what we did. I'ma buy you a drink.
Locked in on LSU football 24/7. You're listening to Off the Bench.
This is a hit.
Fantastic question. It was just brought up in the Bayou Ford chat.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the song. I was like, what you got?
Someone was asking, they were trying to test our football rules knowledge.
Football rules knowledge?
And they say, we're going to test your knowledge. I need y'all to try to explain, or do you know about a 1-point safety? So do you, Jacob Hester, know about a 1-point safety in football?
All right, so this almost, was it last week?
Before you answer, have y'all ever heard of a 1-point safety, Taylor Alondra?
Yeah, I've seen it done. I don't remember how it got done.
No.
I do.
I don't remember when it was ever done. I
I don't remember
so
it
I don't
ever
know
being
if there's I don't know if there's more than one way, but I do know. So let's say that you block the extra point.
Okay.
All right. And let's say you pick up the extra point on the 1 yard line, and then you run back into your end zone to try to make a play, and you get tackled in your end zone.
Yep.
I believe that is a 1-point safety.
That would be a 1-point safety.
Okay.
Same way if you go for 2 and you fumble or throw an interception to the defense,
Okay.
and the defense
Same way.
establishes that they have possession or trying to run it out of the end zone, get tackled in the end zone, they do call it a safety,
But it's 1 point.
but it's a 1-point safety. There we go. Super fun knowledge.
I didn't know about the 2 point. I knew about the kick.
Yep.
That if that happened, feel like the 2 points should be worth 2 because we're going for 2, not 1.
If you get it to the other end zone, it's 2. If you get tackled in the other end zone,
Just 1.
It's 1 for the other team.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Didn't that I don't know. I know like the Eagles when they were doing the tush push in the playoffs, and last year the other team kept jumping off sides. They're like, hey, if you do it again, it's a touchdown. Like by rule, it's a touchdown, even if they don't score. If you jump off sides again, you remember that? It's
Now
like
that you say it,
the
I
only
do.
scoring
Was
play
that
that you
real?
can get award. Yeah, it's the only play that you can get awarded
All right,
a touchdown without scoring a touchdown.
Then there's a certain amount of times you can do it.
And I think it's at the discretion of the head referee.
It's at the discretion.
I'm pretty sure. Anyways, because we'll never do it because Squirrel. There was other players in the transfer portal that LSU got their commitment, not just the safety from Boise State.
I think Matt was going to tell us about
No, that's on
I'm going to throw it
y'all.
to Matt.
No, you're not.
Tay and Alondra, I'm going to throw it to y'all because y'all have got this smothered and covered. Who else did LSU get in the portal?
The ever common name Stephylan Green from Clemson. Stephylan.
He actually I'm going to go back. Okay, so I'm going to go back. It wasn't on this show. It was on off campus. I was on with Jimbo, and it's before LSU played Clemson, and or maybe it was right after. Either way, we were talking about the defensive line because all the defensive line for Clemson was getting hype. And I'm like, I don't see it with that guy. That guy's supposed to be a top 5 pick, and I just don't see it. I was like, but who's 90? I was like, Jimbo, you got to tell, because he's working for the ACC network. I'm like, Jimbo, who is 90? Like, 90 continues to flash for me. And, 90 is the guy that LSU got a commitment from. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know his name. I was like, 90.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, his numbers don't jump off. I mean, I think 20 tackles on the season, but he did have 2.5 sacks from the perimeter. I mean, he's a run stuffer, but you need a body
That would have
there.
led LSU's defensive line last year.
Yeah, it would have. You need a body there, too. I mean, you have Dom McKinley coming back. He's had mixed reviews. And then after that, it's a bunch of freshmen, true freshmen, redshirt freshmen. He's a veteran body in the middle that you needed. You have Rod Gainey, the running back from Charlotte. He's only about 5'11", 185. He's a lean back, but the staff really likes him. They're kind of putting together that mold of back. I mean, Harlem Berry's not a super big guy. The running back you got from Utah yesterday, he's around 190, 200 pounds. You got Gainey at 185. So Kiffin's kind of putting together. Yeah, Kiffin's kind of putting together
That's my 8th grade year.
Guy that he likes, like that size of back, a lean back. Obviously, we talked about Ty Benefield earlier, the Boise State safety, and I must have been talking about him a lot because yesterday in the office, Musso goes, Tyler, your guy's in. And I was like, we got Ty Benefield? He goes, we got Ty Benefield. So
nice.
Hey, that's your guy.
a guy that I really like from Boise State. And then the last guy, he was a big name last night, Jace Brown, the wide receiver from Kansas State. 1,900 yards, 15 touchdowns in 3 years, over 700 yards last year. The big one, 17.4 yards per catch last year. That's becoming a trend. Jackson Harris from Hawaii, he's at 19 yards per catch. Trey Brown, who you signed from Old Dominion, he's at 20 yards per catch. Jace Brown's at 17.4. These guys are explosive. I mean, clearly Lane Kiffin's trying to find explosive weapons on the outside to go with Trey Green. Those are your 4 guys yesterday. You're up to 8 now.
Wow. That happened quick.
Real question. Is that a lot?
What?
8
Receivers?
8 portal people?
Yeah.
It's kind of average right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, again, yesterday there was only 3 double-digit teams, and one was Penn State, who got 19. Iowa State.
Gotcha.
And they got 19 from Iowa State, which people would lose their mind if Lane took 19 players from Ole Miss. Going back to Green, he graded out 72 last year on Pro Football Focus. Like, he's a really good player. He flashes, and like Tay said, like, you're a defensive tackle. You're not going to, have 70 tackles. You're not going to have 10 sacks. If you do, you're named like Glenn Dorsey and you're generational. Mm-hmm. But this guy, Green, flashes on tape, uses his hands incredibly well, sheds blocks, physical at the point. I think LSU fans are going to really enjoy how he plays the defensive tackle position compared to how it's been played in the last couple of years. Like, again, because Peter Woods is on that team, and I was like, man, Peter Woods he doesn't do it for me like he does for everyone else. Like, he's a good player, but he's not generational. Like, you're telling me he's going to be a top 5 pick. Well, his grade was the same exact grade as Green's was. Like, to my point. So, like, he's a really good football player. He's not a household name by any means, but I'm going to pull that clip because I don't want to be like, of course, like once he signs with LSU, this was months ago. This is in September. I kept asking the question to the people that cover the ACC. Who is this guy? Because y'all keep telling me about number 11. Y'all keep telling me about number 3. Of course, number 3 being TJ Parker. Good players, but why are y'all not telling me about this guy? So it's a good get. It's not a name. It's not going to be one that LSU fans are going to throw a parade because it's the defensive tackle.
Yep.
But I'm just telling you, watching tape, this guy flashes every time.
Well, like in the transfer portal, there's so many
players.
So many players, right? And there's so many positions you fill. And this isn't the NFL where there's all this star power every single year that you get from the draft and you get in free agency. So most of the guys that you sign, you're going to have to do a little research on. You're going to have to learn how to pronounce their name. And then you're going to be like, okay, this guy is a good player. Yeah. Let's see how LSU uses him. And then they start hitting and they start getting integrated into the system and the defense, and then they start becoming stars or potential stars. So most of the people that you get in the portal, you're like, okay, is that good? I don't know. Then you got to do your research because there's just so many. There's not that many star power in the portal. Right? In college football, when you start looking at smaller schools, medium schools, defensive tackles from an ACC team, nobody's gonna really know that. You get wide receivers from Boise State. I mean, they're good. Taylor knew about it, but
I would tell you this. And we all fall into it. I mean, I did yesterday talking about Sam Leavitt being the number 1 overall player. Just like in high school recruiting, don't just stargaze. Mm-hmm. Make sure, what Matt's talking about, good or bad, go get a profile of this player and go check out the tape. The tape's right there in front of you. You can go watch it there. Because the running backs you got, they don't have stats.
Right.
They don't have stats. They haven't played. So, what does that mean? We'll go try to find out what they are, all about in the plays they did play.
And I would probably think that, unless you're talking about truly proven people that have been starting in college, I would think that high school rankings of players is probably more accurate than portal rankings of players. When you start getting past the top guys, because there's just so much more reason. They've been doing it for so much longer, right?
Yeah.
They've been doing high school recruiting. And I know that there's so many people to recruit now that college coaches lean on those recruiting services a lot more than they used to.
Right.
Well, they used to is we're going to do our own groundwork on this and create our own list. But now they lean on these different services. I don't know how much they really lean on, on 3 for their portal rankings. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, I know that's, people that know what they're talking about, but I just don't know how far that whole ranking of portal players has come and how accurate it can be.
And how much coaches are looking at that when we know they look at high school star rankings sometimes.
Yeah, right.
They're we got to get this guy because of this.
Sure.
Which I don't think it's a great route, but almost everybody does it.
Yeah, but it's a lot better than it was. When we were coming out, it was you'd get guys with 5 stars just because they had the measurables. It wasn't coaches looked at it, but they didn't really look at it. Jimbo Fisher is going to go see all the quarterbacks, all 20 quarterbacks on their list.
Yeah,
right, in person,
even the fat ankle ones. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, LSU head basketball coach Kim Mulkey is going to join us here on OTB.
Off the bench.
I should have said beefy ankles. Fat felt a step too far.
It's strong.
I apologize.
Strong ankles.
Beefy ankles that you had, and thank God for Jimbo, because Derek Dooley almost messed it up, like a politician. Because he is a politician.
Talk about Central.
Go to centralplumbing.org, 225-500-0774. That is a new number, so we want you to take that one down. 24/7, 365, weekend, holiday, game day number, doesn't matter. They'll be there, 225-500-0774. It is Central Plumbing, but not just in Central, in the entire greater Baton Rouge area. We are talking to you, centralplumbing.org.
Yeah, I don't know if you can really put a price tag on how valuable 24/7 emergency services is. So, if you're hosting people, if you're hosting a party, if you're hosting family, whatever it is, a lot of us just hosted family for the holidays. If something happens, knowing that Central Plumbing will come out and fix anything that happens with your plumbing any time of the day, any day of the year, whatever it is, centralplumbing.org.
Off the bench. Presented by Hood Dental.
Ready for action, nip it in the bud. We never relaxing. Outcast is everlasting. Not clashing, not at all.
All right, welcome back in. It is OTB here on this Wednesday morning, brought to you by Hood Dental Care. And every single Wednesday at 8:30, we are lucky enough to catch up with LSU head basketball coach Kim Mulkey. Coach, we appreciate the time as always. Hope you had a great holiday season and a happy new year.
Well, I have until we came back to play, right? I mean, it was wonderful. I mean, it was great spending time with the family, and then I got to come back to work and lose these close games on a possession or two. No, I've had a great time. That's part of sports and athletics, and we have to get better and learn how to close out games, and we will. We will. We're just a little bit inexperienced in that area.
And, Coach, we were talking to you last time. I mean, you mentioned conference play was coming up, and you're like, look, hey, we're going to lose games. There's going to be games that we lose. That's just going to happen in the SEC. And you mentioned it there. These games are close, and these games are, games in which going into the fourth, you've had some leads, you've had some success, and obviously those fourth quarters is what you're talking about, getting away from you there. But you also talked about learning in those experiences with this team, and that's why you play the non-conference that you do. So, taking a step back and seeing these last two games, what do you feel like you've learned about your team?
Well, I don't know that I've learned any more than I probably already knew. We're talented. We have unbelievable talent, and the non-conference allowed us to gain some confidence, probably spoiled us a little. Did it hurt us? I don't think it hurt us. I think you have to know your team, and I had 8 new players, 4 freshmen that are going to have to play a lot this year. Mm-hmm. And people don't realize that because they hadn't seen the conference schedule like I had. The first 5 games of our conference schedule are unbelievably hard. 4 of those teams are ranked in the top 12, and the 5th one was undefeated a week ago. So I knew what we faced. I don't know in all of my coaching if I've ever had to play that many top teams right out of the gate. So you don't talk about it a lot. People haven't been until now. They realize it. I saw all of this, and I thought, oh, boy, we're going to play this team and this team who have fifth-year seniors. I'm playing, these freshmen, sophomores. It's okay. Here's the hard part, guys. You don't run from it because you know those freshmen are going to become sophomores, and then those sophomores are going to become juniors. But guess what's changed? NIL. I'll look at my team out there and I think, wow, this team's going to be special in a year or two. And then I have to slap myself in the face and say, you probably won't even have that team in a year or two.
Right.
You don't know from year to year who you're going to have. So just do the best that you can, make them as good as you can, as quick as you can.
Coach, how do you do that? How do you make players? So you bring up such an interesting point. It's something, of course, that we've been talking about a lot this week with the transfer portal in the football world. And you talk about having to coach in this landscape of college sports and having to get somebody. So it speeds up your timeline. And, of course, when the best lessons in life always come from defeat and losses and facing adversity. So you're facing, 2 losses in a row. And I know that you probably haven't learned anything about your team, like you just said. But, what are your players? What do you think that they've learned from the close games and being in those tight games and taking a couple losses? And then how do you speed up that progression of what you're trying to teach them? Because like you just said, you get them potentially for 1 year, hopefully for many, but you just don't know year to year.
You think back in the day before all this transfer portal was happening, you thought that you were on a fast track to get them better quick as you could. But now, I mean, really, in what, 6 months that you have them, how much improvement can be made in 6 months versus what it used to be over a 2 and a 3 year period? And man, then by the time they're juniors and seniors, man, they got this. I don't know other than repetition every day, film room every day. You used to say sense of urgency for those juniors and seniors because time is winding down. Mm-hmm. Sense of urgency starts with those freshmen because you don't know how long you're going to have them, and it's a terrible thought to sit there and look out on that floor and think, man, that kid's going to be special in a year or two, and then have to rethink it and go, but will I even have her?
Yeah. Coach, what about, somebody in Flagey that has been here, somebody that knows this program, and y'all shared so many great moments on the court? Like, in a situation like this where you do have a couple of games that don't go your way in a row, but again, they're close games. They're games that you're there until the final end. They're against teams that are now 6th and 7th in the country. Like, is that something where you can see her take leadership? Because it is unique, the fact that you have somebody that has been in one school and been a star like her entire time on campus.
If I could give you any advice, if any of them become athletes or any of them are athletes, genes, you're either inherit the genes of your athletic parents and you're a baller or you're not. You can be an athlete that works at your craft and becomes competitive.
Yeah.
The one thing that is just so amazing to me with this generation of kids, none of them want to be leaders. And leadership comes in two forms. It comes in the form of your mouth, because you don't have a problem leading, guiding, directing. You, that quarterback, hey, get me this running back over here. Hey, audible at the line. I need you to get on the other, Or your activity, your actions, how hard you play every day. People watching and they want to be like you. For whatever reason, I just find that leadership from young people is like pulling teeth. They don't want to lead. And I ask the kids sometimes why. And I guess what I've come up with is they don't want to make enemies. They don't want to hurt a teammate's feelings. And they feel like anything they say in any kind of hard way is going to affect their relationship with them. And I'm thinking to myself, it's not personal. This is college athletics. And so teach your kids how to lead and not be followers. Blase, to answer your question, she has fought me on that, and she wants to be a leader. And I think she's done a better job, but it doesn't come natural for her.
Right.
Blase sprains her ankle in the Vanderbilt game. Doesn't get to play but about 18 minutes. Well, what kind of leader were you during that game? Were you cheering? Were you telling your teammate that replaced you where to go, what to do? She may have been, and it may be that I was so into the game I didn't notice it, but that's just a way of showing leadership when you're injured. And sometimes that's hard for young people.
Coach, I'm wondering, just in your position, you've coached for a long time and you've been at the highest level for a long, long time. I'm wondering, you brought up the portal and how difficult it is to, maybe not difficult, but how it's different coaching kids for a shorter amount of time potentially. And now 2026, is it harder to be a college coach than it ever has been?
Absolutely. Look at the people in my age bracket that had a lot of life left in their coaching career. They got out.
Yeah.
They got out. And most of them will tell you it was NIL, it's a bidding war, or the transfer portal. I tend to believe the transfer portal is a little bit tougher than NIL. I just do. And you invest in a young person, you recruit them for years in high school, you get them, man, gosh, all that hard work paid off. And then boom, in a matter of 6 months, they decide, I'm going to go somewhere else. And the thing about it, back in our day, you transferred for mainly you didn't get to play, so you need to go somewhere else where you're going to get more minutes. Well, that's not the case. You're losing All-Americans. You're losing national championship players. You're losing all-conference players, starters. There's no reason as to why kids leave anymore other than more money, who knows what else. But I know it'll never go away. We'll never be able to put the worms back in the can, but we have to have some limit on the number of times kids can transfer.
Coach, we've talked a lot about that here, and you're right. Like there's reasons to transfer, certainly, and we saw transfers even when we played. Now, it wasn't a lot. I mean, it was
1 year free agent deals.
I mean, it was on one hand you can count the amount of transfers. Do you think like we'll get to a point where it's like, okay, you get a one-time free transfer. But that second time, it goes back to the old rules. If you transfer, you have to sit out a year. Like, do you even think something like that could be possible?
Or lose a year. There was a period of time during my
True.
Playing, and when you lose a year. Let me say this. We won national championship with transfers. I'm not saying that you take it away.
Right.
But you have to have a limit on the. You got kids playing at 7 schools and ever how many years in their career. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you have to have some rule that you can't just do that over and over and over. I don't know the answer. I'm just talking, and I'm one of these that, man, if you have an opinion, give me a solution. I don't have a solution, but I know there are solutions out there. Yeah. Do I think it will ever change? I think the NCAA has lost all its power.
For sure.
I think the courts have taken over. The judges have taken over. The NCAA's got to deal right now on the men's side with professional drafted G League players, international players, everybody coming at, whatever age they are to play in college basketball this semester. That's a big topic of conversation right now on the men's side.
Coach, we need a.
But it's also happening on the women's side.
Right. Yeah.
We need just one kick-ass leader to be like the commissioner of college athletics. I'm going to nominate you, Coach.
Well, you do that when I retire. How's that? I might get bored in retirement. The beach and sunshine only last so many months a year.
That's right.
So I'll need something to do. And, I tell people all the time, I'm not a lifer. When I took this job, I wasn't going to be a coach. When I started coaching, I said, okay, I'll do you a favor, Dr. F.J. Taylor. I'll coach. Well, here I am 40, ever how many years later. But I also say I'm only 63. I'm not going to hang on like some of the old football coaches and then retire and I'm dead within the next 5 years.
Yeah, you're right about that. We've talked about that certainly as well. Coach, you're the absolute best. Safe travels to Athens, taking on UGA, who you mentioned they were undefeated until last week, 15-1. So another good test for your basketball team. We look forward to watching. Look forward to having you back on next week.
Take care, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Coach Kim Mulkey, LSU head basketball coach, getting up to join us here every single week on Wednesdays on OTB. And, of course, our Wednesday shows brought to you by Hood Dental Care. She could be the commissioner.
It's right now.
For sure.
I know she wants to wait.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted her to wait, too. Like, I want her to coach a couple more years for sure. Like, I'm enjoying that, too.
I'd also enjoy if she was the immediate commissioner.
That's true. Coach Saban, Coach Mulkey.
Amalgamation.
All right, we'll take a break. More OTB when we come back here live from the Raising Cane studio.
Off the bench.
All right, go to GoTommies.com. GEAUX, Tommies with a Y.com, where you'll clearly see the difference when you go to the website. Check out the awards. Look at those banners if you're watching this on YouTube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look, they got more than anybody else. I mean, they just continue to stack banners in the Advocate this year. Best windows that went to Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. They are the best in the business. They are the best here in the area. Go check them out. Go see what they can do for you. Check out the work they've already done for your neighbors at GoTommies.com.
GoTommies.com. Windows, doors, siding. You ever heard of a lifetime guarantee? A lifetime warranty? Well, if you call Tommy's, if you got a project happening, you got to replace a door, windows, siding, whatever it is, maybe you need brand new. If they do that job, if they replace it for you, they will give you a lifetime warranty on all of those parts. So go check them out. If you got a project, make sure Tommy's is the one you call. They're stacking awards because they are the absolute best. GoTommies.com.
From the locker room to the airwaves, it's Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
This song makes me feel like a young lad, like my youthful self, Matthew. Almost like I went to Rejuve Me Medical.
Oh man, you would feel like you're.
I'm almost 41 now, but when I hear this song, it makes me feel like I'm in my early 20s. Yeah, I know it came out before then, but we all had this playing at different times. So if you want to feel like that,
yeah, you'll feel like you're at couples dance or couples skate at the skating rink because you'll feel so young again.
That's right.
That's right. It's called hormones, people. They get out of whack. And it depends. It happens at different ages. So go get your blood work. It doesn't matter what your age is. Men, we're talking about you when we talk about testosterone, but women too. There's all sorts of things that Rejuvenate Medical can do. 12 locations all over Louisiana. So if you're listening to us right now, you have a Rejuvenate Medical somewhere accessible to you. Go get those blood panels done. See where you're at. Everything's supervised by medical professionals. That's the difference. Everything is supervised by medical professionals. They have been the leader in hormone replacement therapy for over 10 years here in Louisiana. The best in the business. So if you want it done and done right, go to rejuvenemedical.com.
Coming up in the third hour of the show, we got to give some eulogies.
I sure do.
Poof, we got eulogies galore to be able to get to. And one that's just like, I get it, but like when you fire a John Harbaugh, you got to be careful because you're like, I'm so tired of having 10-7 seasons. Just wait till you have that 6-win season. See how that feels. Because the 10-win season most of the times gets you in the playoffs, gets you an opportunity, right? Even a 9-win season. Like, when you're that consistent, I say this about Mike Tomlin all the time, like, I get you want to have the ceiling more times than not, and you feel like you're just right there, barely in it. But, man, when you're in it and you every single year, you at least have a seat at the table, that goes a long way when that seat is a mile away.
There was a tweet yesterday by Adam Schefter that said, since Harbaugh was fired, 7 teams have reached out to him about their job openings. There's only 6 teams that have fired their coaches.
Ooh, spicy. Hour 3 coming your way.
Off the bench.